Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Coco and I are down the back lane of the shop. We're going to get some things organised today and we're going to load the van with a view to driving down to Melbourne and selling some scrap cast aluminium and probably some pressing steel. So Friday or probably Thursday morning is going to be our scrap run, and this morning we're just going to start getting organised and and get the van loaded and we can hopefully have a good cash in. Good morning guys, the sun's not quite up, it's about 6:30, it's nice and cool. I thought I'd get a nice early start in loading the van. I'm going to do the trip down to the yard tomorrow. It's supposed to be pretty hot today, so I thought I'd get a nice early start. So I'm going to start with the pressing steel. I'll probably put the ramp out of the back of the van where it is now and trolley some of those dryer bodies up. They weigh around about 80 to 90 kilos. I haven't weighed them all, but I've sort of took an average of a few when I first started packing them, so I know what sort of weights are in them. I hope to get about half a tonne of pressing steel in the van, which I think is paying around about 20 cents a kilo or 280 a tonne. If I get about half a tonne, well, there's 140 bucks, cover my petrol, cover my trip down pretty much. And that means that I can top up with all my cast aluminium. I've got around about a tonne of it. Maybe not quite, but I've still got a little bit more to round up. That will put about a tonne and a half in the van, which is okay for a drive down. And they quoted me, what the price list I think I had was $1.80. That was just last week, and I rang them up and said I've got almost a tonne, or around about a tonne of good, clean cast aluminium. I'm very fussy when I strip my metals and get them pure, and the guy said, oh well, we'll do $1.90. So that means I should be able to top a couple of grand for the trip. That makes it well worthwhile, and it's starting to reduce the quantity of stuff in my yard. So I better go and grab another coffee and set the ramp up and start loading. Okay, I thought I'd get this one dryer body out and just weigh it, just to check the weights. It did take a bit to get on the trolley, and I just balanced it on some bathroom scales here to see, and this one actually weighed at about 110 kilos. So I tried to wheel it up the ramp, and I soon realized that when I factored in the angle of the ramp and my aging muscles, it wasn't going to work. So I had to relocate the van out to the side in a low area, which gave me a lot less angle of the ramp, and it was able to wheel that one up quite easily. Now that was the heaviest dryer body. It was a larger style dryer, and then I loaded a lot of PC cases, another smaller dryer body here, and I was just getting a quick weight on them just on the bathroom scales as I walk past, so I can calculate in my head as I'm going, because I didn't really want to go much over half a tonne. It's too hard on the clutch in the van if we have a lot of weight in there. So a few microwave bodies as well, and I just started cleaning up along the fence there. I even got a few other bits that were just lying around. There's a paint can there that was full of old nails. I think I'll stop there with the steel. It took me about an hour by the time I was mucking around and moving the van and everything. I've got at least 500 kilos here. I think probably about 550. I did approximately weigh them as I went, just so I had a good idea what weight's in here. You can see they're packed in there pretty well, and I threw a little bit of sort of tangly stuff in just to get rid of it out of my yard. The good thing with the van, or good or bad, I guess depends which way you look at it, is that it holds so much volume wise that it's very easy to overload. And I won't even be using the front section, so I'll be kind of running down only half full, but I will be right on my weight limit, so that's the consideration. So that's enough for the steel. Didn't make much of an impact in the yard. Did start to clean up that area, got rid of some tangly stuff, but I've still got plenty of pressing steel to go, not to mention other lots around the yard. So each time I do a load of good paying stuff, I'll try and get rid of half a tonne of pressing steel. So next stage, it's just after 7:30, about 7:45. I might put the van back down in the lane. I should be able to back over these roofing sheets, and we'll start loading. I won't need the ramp because the aluminium is fairly light, and I'll start loading up all this. Okay, you ready for some speed backing? This is 5 times normal speed, so I was taking it reasonably slow, and the roofing sheets didn't jag on anything under the van, so that worked out okay. I just have to check to make sure I was on track. And it's fortunate there wasn't any traffic around this early, so I had plenty of time to back in. It's a bit awkward to get in my lane gateway, it's quite narrow. So then we're just a matter of starting to load the cast aluminium, which I threw up on top of the pressing steel, and then I had some barrels. I ended up putting the ramp up there because it's easier on my knees rather than stepping up and down, plus the roofing sheets are in the road. But also I had to get some barrels up there which weighed about 50 kilos. So yeah, it was just a matter of back and forward, loading the van. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I've just had some brekkie. I'm ready for another coffee. It's getting pretty warm. The sun's getting up. I don't know, it must be about 9ish. Got a good load in. I'm pretty happy with that. There's still plenty of space. So I put the rims in as well. And I've been weighing up a bit extra cast aluminium. I think I've got close to a ton. And as we said earlier, about half a ton of pressing steel. So I reckon that's going to do for a load. The tyres are starting to look a little bit under pressure. I have got all this area clear now. I unpacked a few of those last drums, and I do have to check with the scrapyard on what they want to do with this cast zinc. It's noticeably heavier than cast aluminium, and I just want to know if I can include it. I haven't included any now, but whether they pay a separate price or they don't want it contaminated, I'm not sure. I've got some saucepans to go with normal aluminium. There is still a couple of drums here of cast aluminium I didn't get to, but I think I've got enough now. We'll pull the van out of the lane and it will be taken off first thing in the morning. Good morning again, guys. I'm in the van this morning, just heading off to Melbourne. It's quite a nice cool morning. It's going to get warm again apparently, and maybe stormy, so the van might get a wash on the way down. Christine's packed me some treats, some breakfasts and some lunch, because I'll probably be a fair bit of the day down here. I've got a thermos for coffee, so it should be a nice trip. I'm just on my own, so I'll do a bit of filming at the yard, and hopefully everything goes to plan. Now the van's sitting a bit low in the water. I should check the air pressures at some stage in the tyres, but should be fine. I'll take it slow and hopefully we have a nice drive down. Okay, we've just pulled into the scrapyard. It's Manhari in Tottenham in Melbourne. I believe that they're the best non-ferrous prices in Melbourne. So I've just pulled up next to the office. I think I have to go and sort of ask. I haven't been here for 12 months, so I don't remember. The sign there says non-ferrous to the left, light gauge metal only over the weighbridge. So I think I'll pull around near that big shed round there and we'll start unloading. It's overcast down here. It's a bit cooler than home, which is good. I better get stuck into the work. Alrighty, gotta love the sounds of a scrapyard. It's very noisy here. They've given me a great big bin to put all my cast aluminium in. I did ask him about the zinc alloy here, and he said, nah, throw it all in his cast, that's fine. So that's good, I don't have to separate it at home. And the rims, I thought truck rims or car rims were different, but he said, throw it all in. So I didn't bring my tripod, so you're not going to get much action as far as throwing cast in the bin, but you get the picture. So the bin's filling up pretty quickly. A couple of things to note: next time I'm going to bring some earplugs. It's just so loud. This cast aluminium rings like a bell when you throw it in the bin. Also, I'm not going to use these barrels anymore, because even though they're not that tapered, it is really hard to tip stuff out. It tends to jam and you've got to pull a piece out at a time. I think the wheelie bin should be okay, but the barrels I might give a miss and just use those black tubs. They worked well. There we go, that's done. We've filled his bin up pretty well. That's because it included the two rims and even a little bit of die-cast zinc that I asked him about, I reckon we should go a ton. I'm hoping it's going to be close to that, because I didn't actually weigh the rims, but that's filled his bin up pretty good. Nice clean sample. It's taken me about 10 years to accumulate. I don't think I'll ever sell this much cast aluminium in one hit again, so just waiting for him to buzz around with the forklift and pick it up. And I've just got to get rid of this little bit of pressing steel. And there's the pressing steel in the tub. Some of those were pretty heavy, but got them out of the van, and the van's breathing a big sigh of relief at the moment. So the fork guy's just going to take it away, and we'll see what it all weighs and what it pays. Geez, this yard is so busy. There's trucks, forklifts, all sorts of machinery going everywhere. Two big excavator type grab things working away in the big pile there. So he's just gone off to weigh my pressing steel. I don't know what the tear on that tub is, I didn't see it, unless that's 1428 maybe on the side. So we'll see what the scales say for that. $984. Well, the 1428 obviously isn't the tear. I don't know. We had about half a ton, we reckon. We'll see what the docket says. Oh, look at that. My tyres are round again. That's nice. Okay guys, I'm just leaving the yard now. That was pretty hard work, but it didn't take long. They brought the bins to me pretty quickly. I did have to go back in and query the price because they only paid me $1.80 a kilo for the aluminium, and the guy on the phone told me they'd do $1.90, and they happily corrected that. So that's great. Lesson from that is get the guy's name next time, because I didn't actually get his name. But they were happy to honour it, and it made a difference of $100 over that deal. I'll show you the figure shortly. I'll pull up just down the road and make myself a coffee, and we'll have a look at the docket. Okay, I've just pulled up and got some diesel. I've made a coffee. They gave me a couple of presents. I got a copper, not a hot water bottle, a copper drinking bottle. And I actually got one of those last year. And they also gave me a current diary, so 2022 diary. So that's nice of them. The paperwork, I was pretty good with my weight, so I was pretty happy with that. We had 556 kilos of pressing steel. The rate was 28.5 cents, or 285 a ton. There was a levy of 18.35, so $140. That's really good. I've just put $100 worth of diesel in the van, so it covers that. The cast aluminium was almost a ton. They did take the rims. I have a feeling one of the guys said I should have kept them separate, but it didn't make a lot of difference to the price. I'm really pleased that the zinc cast or die cast can go in with the cast aluminium. They had no problems with that, and it weighs quite well, that. So the balance there, I was hoping to get 2 grand, just over 2,185.60. That makes the trip well worthwhile. It all happened fairly quickly. It's about 11 o'clock now, so I should be home for lunch. Awesome. All right, let's hit the road. Okay, I'm home, guys. It took me an hour and a half. It took a bit longer to go down because we were, a bit sluggish with the weight. Coming home, the van drove like a race car, so a ton and a half makes a big difference. I think that's a good limit for the van. I wouldn't want to go much heavier. The first trip I did actually was a bit heavier. That was last year. A ton and a half's good. I can get a good paying load out of that. It's all cleaned out. I've got the ramp back in there. I've got to put my packing blankets in there and boxes, which I've shoved in the shop, because we're actually going to an auction on Saturday morning. And I'll probably film that, so look out for an auction video. Now that COVID restrictions have eased up, we can actually go to a real live auction. So that should be fun. Van's ready to go, full of diesel, well, nearly full. I've done the trip home, but it's still got plenty of fuel in it. The laneway is a lot cleaner. I'm going to be doing more trips this year, more regularly, maybe even faster than I had planned. There's something in the winds as far as my property goes, and it may change everything. Who knows? So keep an eye on my channel. I will talk about that a little bit in an upcoming video very soon, which I've already started. That'd be part 14 of my great backyard cleanup. There might be a lot of those parts happen very quickly, depending on what happens with my property. So yeah, a bit up in the air at the moment. Anyway, thanks for watching this scrap run. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be doing another one fairly soon, regardless, because prices are so good, and I want to get rid of a bit more of this pressing steel, and I might take some brass down because brass is paying really well at the moment. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. Bye for now.